Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Wilke,
And I'm Melissa Skabich.
and you're listening to the Upright Uptake, where we share insights about public relations, the media, getting your voice heard, and making the most of your communications. Melissa, I'm thrilled you're here today because we're talking about one of my least favorite topics, awards.
Oh, gee, Paul, I wonder why awards are your least favorite topic. I actually know why. But why don't you tell the audience, what's your beef with awards?
Oh, so many things to go with. Let's sort of spread this out. So, my issue with awards is that they're not really a public relations tool. They're definitely not a public relations strategy. So, one of the things we kind of dive into is, why do awards have appeal, and why do most PR people hate them or just sort of view them as a necessary evil? And the reason Melissa's here today is she's, fortunately or unfortunately, has become the Upright resident expert on awards. She's, her submission work has gotten our clients on the Inc. 5000, on several other awards over the years. So, Melissa, I'd love to start with your take on them.
So I found that when it comes to awards, you really have to guide the client, because we've had some clients that want to do every award that's in their industry. And sometimes that's just not feasible. Actually, all the time, that's not feasible. So we work with our clients to make sure we select the right awards. It's going to have the right impact for them. And quite frankly, ones that we think they have a chance at winning.
Which awards do you think are good, and which ones do you sort of steer clear of?
The first step whenever I'm presented with an award is to make sure that it comes from a reputable organization or media outlet that we've heard of before. I've found that some of these, and I know we're going to get into this a little later, but some of these awards are really just, cash grabs. And I know, Paul, you and I have actually joked about like starting the Upright Award for Awesomeness and charging $2,000 per entry, because I feel sometimes that there are awards out there like that. So we, try not to chase every shiny object, and really make sure that we're going after the right awards that are reputable. Another thing we take a look at is who's won the award in the past, right? So have we heard of these companies? Is this the first time the award has been presented? Make sure that we're playing on our field, right? Playing on the right field, and not, applying to an award with one of our startup companies that, Apple has consistently won for the past 15 years. So, just making sure the size is right as well. And then what's the cost associated with the award? There's some really pricey awards out there. Does the client have the budget for it? Does it make sense for them to move forward if it's a big ticket item? And then finally, and this might seem like common sense, but does the client fit the criteria, right? So is there an applicable subject for them, or a category for them where they can put together the strongest entry? So that's important, especially, some of these awards are named in a way that makes the client think they're, relevant for the award, and they're not. So that's a really important one too.
Yeah, and I think these are all great things to look at when considering whether you should go for awards or not. But the other thing, at a strategic level, it's important to talk about what's the PR value in an award. And I think one of the biggest concerns instinctively, our clients say, okay, we won an award, let's do a press release, let's announce it, let's get some coverage out of it. The worst kept secret in the business is journalists don't cover awards, especially if they're presented from another publication, like the Inc. 5000, or Fortune has a variety of awards, right, and Wired has awards. Guess what? Only the media outlet running the awards are going to promote it, and many of them don't promote them well.
And sometimes it's more of a like, hey guys, you do it, here's the kit, right? Pay for our logo, give us a couple of $1,000s for our logo to add to your website and email templates, and here's a sample press release that you can tweak too. So some of they put on us, which is fine. I actually like to have that control, because then I know who I can reach out to, and then, we are able to craft the release to our standards as well.
A lot of it is determining which awards are good and which ones aren't. And the legitimate awards, we're going to talk about the scam aspect of the awards in a little bit, but the good awards actually have an infrastructure in place, and they, you can reach out to them and say, look, what are you looking for? And they show you, they name the judges and they talk about the criteria. So the good ones have that infrastructure in place, which sort of leads us to our next topic, which is the submission process. Now, Melissa, like I said, you've submitted a lot of awards over the years, and I'd love to sort of pick your brain on, what works, what doesn't, what makes a successful submission.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, initially it was a lot of trial and error. We figured some of it out on our own. But one of the things that we did, and I encourage all of you to do this as well, is reach out to the person who sent you the email about the award, right? And they're there for a reason. And ask them, what are you looking for? What type of entry do you like to see come across your desk? Do you like prose or bullets? We had a call with someone who sent us an email about the awards, and I found that to be really helpful, because I think as PR people, we're storytellers at heart, and quite frankly, sometimes we're long-winded and we want to jam in all of the messaging that we possibly can. And we were told, hey, don't do that. Don't write in prose. Give us succinct bullets that we can easily digest. They're reading hundreds, if not thousands, of entries that come across their desk every day. So the more we can be concise, which is sometimes not a PR person's strong point, but the more we can be concise, the better chances you have of your entry actually winning in the category. Another thing that we tend to do is try to jam messaging in. And that's a big no-no when it comes to awards. You really need to focus on accomplishments, and wherever you can, back that up with data. Now, I know some awards ask for revenue, and some clients aren't really comfortable giving that information out. So you can focus on percentage of growth, or how many new employees came along in any given year. Did you open a new office? There are ways to quantify success way beyond revenue. So that's just something to keep in mind when putting your award entry together. Definitely avoid jargon and generalities, and really just speak to the accomplishments that the client has had. And this is another key, in the past 12 months. So whenever the entry is due, you're looking at a 12-month window. You don't want to go back 3 or 4 years, because that information is not relevant. So stick to the past year for sure.
Yeah, two of the things that I sort of got, as you and I have been talking about, various awards and whatnot, is it's actually counterintuitive to what we do in the PR world with interviews. In interviews with reporters, it's like, okay, you've got 3 or 4 main points. In an award submission, it's really just one point. What's the success story you're trying to tell, and what's the data behind it? What shows it's a success, and what shows that you solved that problem? And I think the second main thing that we've seen in working with our clients or pulling the submission together is you tend to want to throw too much in, like you said, Melissa. If you throw too much in, you're just showing them the world, and that doesn't show the focus. It doesn't show, at the heart of what that company is doing to win the award, whether it's most innovative company, Inc. 5000, or whatever. So you want to really focus on what are you trying to win in this award, and what's going to get you there. Melissa, one question is, what's the common mistake or the common thing that you see once you pull the draft as a submission and it goes back to the client? What do they tend to either bristle at or want to change?
A lot of clients want to get their messaging in there. And I say messaging, I really mean their jargon, taglines. That's the type of thing that will, put an award in the do not look at pile. Another thing that we've struggled with a little bit is getting clients to give us customer success stories or client success stories, where they can give us a very specific example of why they deserve to win the award, right? So what interaction have you had? What project did you do that was a game changer? So that's really important. That goes back to specifics and not speaking in generalities. If you say, for example, we're the best cybersecurity company in the world. Okay, well, why? What have you done for your clients that backs up that claim?
Right. And that's, and that's the challenge. I think it's that focus that really, makes the difference between a winning award submission and one that doesn't win. If you've got that focus, and you present your case and you present your data, then, you've got a good shot at winning. And once you win the award, the process depends on, of course, the company giving the award. Sometimes there's a final, the nominees, they narrow it down to 3 or 4 people. Sometimes they just say, we're going to announce the award on August 17th. Some of them have these little dog and pony shows about sort of the, keep in mind that the person or organization issuing the award, they're trying to promote themselves. So they're going to do whatever they can to sort of milk it for all it's worth. The one thing we do find with some of the bigger awards is they've got very strict guidelines on how you promote them. They'll say you can use this logo, or they'll charge you to put the logo on your website. Or if you want to do a press release, it's a very templated press release. There's not a lot of wiggle room on how to promote it, which is fine because, as we said at the top of this, you can't really promote the award from a media perspective. You're not going to get a lot of coverage. Melissa, what are you sort of seeing in the sort of the post nomination award period that either surprises you or you sort of that you're seeing right now?
Well, I think pre-COVID for sure, there were a lot more events, right? So you would be invited out as a finalist to attend, an awards gala where you may or may not win. And we've had that actually happen online a couple of times where they've thrown an event virtually where you sit and kind of wait and see if you've won. I would recommend not doing that with your client. We've been in a situation where we've sat through those presentations and have not won, and the client leaves disappointed. So that's a little word of advice for me is attend those on your own, just in case, and then hopefully you'll be able to reach out with some good news. But there really isn't an opportunity for PR coverage beyond the organization or publication that is hosting the award. So it's nice to put out, a press release, put it out on the wire so that, potential customers or clients can see that you've won this award. So from an SEO perspective, I think that's a nice tool to have in your toolkit. But beyond that, the New York Times is not going to write a story about who won the Fast Company Award, right? So just managing expectations with your client that, this is a nice pat on the back. You can certainly use it for marketing materials. But from a PR perspective, beyond putting out that templated press release, there's really not much opportunity beyond that.
And I think that bears repeating. I think our role as PR professionals is to actually help manage clients' expectations with things like this, because they're going to be really excited. They won this award and they should be excited. It's a great win for them. But from a PR perspective, it's important to let them know that, everything that we've said so far, outlets don't cover awards. You're not going to get a lot of coverage from it. It's at best, it's really a talking point. Going forward, you can say, you're on the Inc. 5000, or you won Most Innovative Company in 2022. So what you try to do is recognize that it's a great marketing tool, and you're best served managing the expectations internally before you bring on a world of disappointment. They're going, why didn't this award get covered? It's not going to get covered. One other thing to cover with awards, and that is, we talk about evaluating awards, and Melissa talked about, looking at the awards, make sure it's the right fit for the company. But one thing you have to be very wary of is awards that sound too good to be true. A lot of companies recognize awards for what they are, and that's a cash grab. Award submissions, some of them are free, some of them are as high as $1,000 or $2,000. And some of the ones that you have to pay for a submission, they're legitimate, but many of them aren't. And some of them are even, some awards are even Trojan horses where they're free to submit, but if you become a finalist, they charge or they sell you a ticket to the award show that you have to either attend in person or virtually. And those are like $1,000, and it doesn't guarantee you're going to win. So in terms of evaluating an award and making sure that it's not a scam or it's one that's widely recognized as this is something you paid for, we ask the client, and you should ask yourself, have I heard of this award before? Is the cost prohibitive? Do my clients or my customers know this award? Is this going to move the needle for them? And some awards are more sort of industry analyst recognition, like Gartner and Forrester, Gartner Magic Quadrant. That's not quite an award, but companies view it as an award, and those are actually worth marketing on your website and letting media know, look, you're a Magic Quadrant leader in area X. But there are some awards that are just they're just scams, and they're taking advantage of your eagerness to promote your business.
Yeah, for sure. And we've come across, I think, an example or two of all of those. I'm thinking about the one time and I can't remember the name of the award, and I wouldn't say it anyway, but we won in every category that we applied to. We're like, oh. I mean, good for us, but something's fishy here. So really do your homework on that. And I think, looking at the award winners from previous years and their entries should really help you get grounded and see if it's something, an award you wanted to pursue. And make those phone calls. There's people who send those emails about these awards, right? Reach out to them and talk to them about it, and have them talk you through the whole process so there's no surprises at the end, right? So you mentioned, Paul, earlier, you apply for an award that was free. You find out you're a finalist, but it cost $1,000 to buy a ticket to the gala to see if you won. So don't get caught in those traps either, because that could really...
Cost is always an interesting factor. If you get to a point where you have to put a credit card down or you're having an invoice issued, that's a great place to stop and say, hey, is this really worth doing?
And we've done that. We've done that, halfway through the process. We'll stop and say, wait a minute, I don't know about this, and advise the client that, we don't think this is the best one for you. So that's another example of just, before you even do that work, go through the process with the rep who reached out to you in the first place with the award opportunity, and make sure that you're aware of any surprises before they come up.
So in conclusion, Melissa, take us home.
Yeah, sure. So proceed with caution, right? Just make sure that you do your homework, that your award that you're applying to is relevant for your client, and really put together a strong entry that is concise, free of jargon, and really puts your client's best foot forward. So if you're looking to get PR out of an award, remember that's likely not what's going to happen. It's a very solid marketing tool, award wins, but there's really not much PR potential beyond the organization or media outlet that's hosting the award.
And if you want to brainstorm PR strategy for your organization, including how awards may or may not need to be a part of your PR approach, reach out to us at uptake@uprightcomms.com.
And be sure to check out previous episodes of Upright Uptake. And again, if you have any questions or want to reach out, we're always happy to answer questions from our fellow PR colleagues or potential clients. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And we'd love to hear from you.
Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today. And for all of you watching on your computers or on YouTube, thank you so much for watching.